Tucked far from the noise and chaos of the city, a quiet lake cabin waited in stillness. It wasn't just a getaway. It was a dream realized, a refuge from the world's demands. Our protagonists longed for peace, for a life untouched by the endless restrictions of urban neighborhoods and overbearing homeowners associations. This cabin represented freedom. It stood just outside the jurisdiction of any HOA. It was independent, untouched, sovereign. But there was one complication. The only road leading to this hidden retreat passed directly through property governed by an HOA, a small technicality. It seemed at first a minor detail. Yet that detail would soon ignite a fierce battle over independence and property rights. Before long, the HOA began flexing its authority. They claimed control over the access road and demanded maintenance fees, despite the cabin's legal separation from their community. The homeowner was stunned and frustrated, determined to uncover the truth. They began digging through decades-old property records in search of clarity. What started as a simple review turned into days of relentless research. Faded deeds, archived plats, forgotten easements. Every document was carefully examined. Then came the breakthrough. Hidden within the brittle pages of an old filing was a clause long overlooked, a legal loophole. The road the HOA claimed as its own was, in fact, private property. It belonged entirely to the cabin owner. It was a quiet but powerful revelation. The path the HOA tried to control was never theirs to govern. Armed with this discovery, the protagonists sought a peaceful resolution. Evidence in hand, they approached the HOA in good faith, hoping facts would settle the matter. Instead, their claims were brushed aside. The board dismissed the documents as misinterpretations, treating the homeowner's stance as open defiance rather than legitimate defense. Tensions escalated quickly. What began as polite disagreements turned into firm demand for payment, layered with subtle threats. Frustration mounted. Every attempt at cooperation was met with bureaucratic resistance. HOA meetings transformed into verbal battlegrounds where protagonists felt increasingly isolated. Official letters arrived one after another, each reinforcing the association's supposed authority over the road. The conflict intensified. What started as fee disputes crossed into harassment. Fines were issued for questionable violations, clearly designed to pressure compliance. Yet instead of backing down, the homeowner's determination only strengthened. This was no longer about convenience or money. It was about principle. It was about defending what was legally and morally theirs. Legal counsel became necessary. A seasoned property attorney was brought in, someone experienced in unraveling disputes like this. The battle shifted from frustration to strategy. Documentation was expanded. Every interaction was recorded, every notice preserved, every conversation logged. The more evidence gathered, the stronger the result became. Fueled by injustice and the desire for genuine autonomy, the homeowner prepared for decisive action. All other avenues had been exhausted. With legal backing secured, it was time to assert ownership unmistakably. Then one morning, without announcement or spectacle, action was taken. The road would no longer remain open. Heavy equipment arrived. A solid, imposing gate was installed at the true property boundary. Fresh signs were mounted clearly and boldly. Private property. No trespassing. Additional barriers reinforced the message. There would be no confusion about who controlled this land. The HOA's reaction was immediate and explosive. Confusion quickly turned to anger. Residents who once drove freely along the road now found themselves cut off. Access they had assumed permanent vanished overnight. Panic spread through the community. Legal threats were issued without delay. Protests formed near the gate as frustrated homeowners demanded it be removed. Heated pleas and arguments followed, but the protagonists remained steady, supported by unwavering legal counsel. The dispute soon caught public attention. Local media reported on the unfolding property battle, dramatizing the clash between an individual homeowner and an organized HOA. The community became divided. Opinions flew in every direction, yet the legal reality remained clear. Calm and composed, the protagonist presented indisputable documentation proving ownership of the road. In the end, the evidence was undeniable. Faced with overwhelming legal proof, the HOA had no choice but to concede. Their authority ended where the property line began. They would have to seek an alternative solution, perhaps constructing a new access road at their own expense. Peace finally returned to the lakeside cabin. The water shimmered undisturbed. The air felt lighter. The homeowner sat quietly, surrounded by stillness that was now truly their own. No interference, no threats, no imposed control. Just solitude earned through persistence and principle. It stood as a powerful reminder that standing up for one's rights is never easy, but true freedom is worth the fight.